Hello everyone and welcome back. So in our today's session we are going to see fixed point rotation. Okay, so the derivation of rotation that we have seen in our previous sessions. So we shift our focus to a reference point rotation basically. Okay, so to explain the reference point rotation, I would be drawing an XY and a point basically out here, that is px comma y. Okay, and if I am trying to rotate this, so my first rotation is rotate px comma y about origin. Okay, let us visualize what will be the output when I am trying to do this using a rotation that is about origin. So again I'm drawing my original point, that is px comma y here, and my red would be the output. So when I am trying to show the output that is about origin, so origin is somewhere out here. So it takes the origin as the reference point, and this is basically your axis from which the rotation would happen, either in anti-clockwise direction or else in clockwise direction. Okay, so assumption here is I am rotating it by angle theta. So if I am rotating it by angle theta, it will go in anti-clockwise direction. And if it goes in anti-clockwise direction, so say this is the angle that is formed here, and my new point would be somewhere out here, a rough estimation. Okay, so the direction remains anti-clockwise. So this will be my output when I'm trying to rotate it about origin, right? Our second case we are trying to solve is rotation. So rotate p x comma y about a reference point. Okay, so we try to analyze this scenario first when I am talking about rotation px comma y about a reference point. So again I am considering this rotation as r theta, again anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so depicting the scenario out here, x, y, and this is my original point px comma y. Okay, so what are we trying to do is I am going to consider a reference point, let it be any point on your screen. So this is my reference point. So I name it as A. So A becomes the reference point using which I will have to rotate P in anti-clockwise direction and theta is positive. Okay, so we just try to see what will be the output. So treating this as the reference point now, right? I form an axis out here. Now my rotation angle is theta, so I go in this particular direction and then I try to form my output out here. So this becomes my P dash, that is x dash y dash. Okay, so here we come to know that there is a clear-cut differentiation between rotation about origin and rotation about a reference point. So rotation about origin will take the origin as the reference point. Rotation about a reference point, that is any point on your screen, will be taken, that is being shown somewhere out here. Okay, so this is the difference between the two types of rotations that we are discussing right now. Okay, and the third type of rotation that we are going to do here is, we call it as fixed point rotation. So it is fixed point rotation. And when I'm trying to do fixed point rotation, what am I trying to consider? So again, but this time I'm going to pick up a line to show you how is it actually going to work. So this is my P1, this is my P2. So something in black is the original object, right? Now I want to shift the focus to, I want to do rotation on this, right? The moment I do my rotation about origin, okay, so my line would go either in this direction or else in this direction. So say again we are taking r theta into consideration. So when I take origin as the reference point, my line would be out here. by whatever angle theta, taking this as the reference point. Okay, if I am taking any reference point on the screen, so the line will rotate according to the reference point like we have seen for the point. But when I'm talking about fixed point rotation, whenever I say fixed point is any point that's basically your vertex point of the object. Okay, so any one point of the object will be fixed. So if I say that I want to do fixed point rotation while keeping P1 fixed, okay, so I will be performing my rotation taking P1 into consideration. So my expected output is this. Okay, so in this case, this will be my P1 dash and this will be my P2 dash after rotation. So this is your angle theta. So this is how your fixed point rotation happens. But if I consider P2 as the reference point, so this is P1, this is P2. I would have considered P2 as the reference point. Yes, and according to P2 again, we could rotate it either in anti-clockwise direction or else in clockwise direction. So I can consider any one point as the reference point. As the reference point, we call that as fixed point rotation, and then we perform the required rotation out here. Okay, so this is about your fixed point rotation. Now let's see how do we perform it. Okay, so what is the basic transformation matrix? So we are trying to get the transformation matrix for fixed point rotation. Okay, now if I want to call it very precise, I will call it as composite transformation matrix. So what is the composite transformation matrix for fixed point rotation? Okay, so we consider a line basically on which we are going to perform our composite transformation. So a sample being shown here, X, Y, and we are going to do it simultaneously. So this is my original line, that is P1 and P2. Okay, so the coordinates will be given to you, X1, Y1 will be given to you, X2, Y2. Okay, so now I want to do fixed point rotation, but then now my fixed point is, say, assume that your fixed point is P1. Okay, so you are going to do P1 rotation according to P1 and R is theta basically. So in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so what do we do is step number one. So step number one, whenever we have done a reference point rotation or else a fixed point rotation, I need to get the whole scene to origin. Okay, so I need to get the whole scene to origin by which point? By P1 point. So my step number one says that I need to translate the scene to origin by P1. So I need to translate the whole scene to origin by P1. By that, what do we mean? We mean that this is XY. This was your original point P1, P2. Now I wish to get the whole scene to origin. So my output would be something like this. So this will be my P1, this will be my new P2. So what am I doing? I'm doing some sort of translation using which value my P1 coordinates are x1, y1. So I'll be using the negative values of this to get it back to origin, by which I am getting it back to origin. So let's see what will be my transformation translation matrix looking like. So I will perform translation on it with Tx and with Ty. Now we have to decide what will be Tx and Ty. The original coordinates for P1 are x1, y1. I am going towards origin. So in that case, this will be minus x1 minus y1. So that's my step number one. And the output being shown to you, what will be the output for step number one? Right, we move on to step number two. And what's our step number two? Our step number two is, now I am at origin. Okay, so we are out here. Now I need to perform the required rotation, as this will be treated as rotation about origin now. Okay, so I need to perform the required rotation on the object. So rotate object by angle theta. So I need to perform what? I need to perform r theta. So that's my step number 2. Okay, so and after performing my r theta, my object was initially in the first step, it was somewhere out here, that's P1, P2. Now when I perform the rotation, it will be out here. Say suppose this is your output theta. So this becomes my new P1 and this becomes my new P2. Okay, that's my input and my output. Now step number 3. Now what happens in step number 3 is I started from a location of P1 as x1, y1. So this is my initial position. Okay, I translated it because I wanted to perform rotation on it, right? And then now I need to put the P1 back to its original position. That means I need to retranslate the whole scene to its original position. Okay, so please understand, I said retranslate the scene to its original position. And how do we do it? So I call the third transformation as retranslate the scene to its original position. That is, in short, I need to retranslate it to its original position by P1, that is x1 and y1, right? And how do we do it? We do it by, when I say retranslation, so I need to again use the translation matrix by Tx and by Ty. Now what will be Tx and Ty? So in our previous method, that's my step number 1, my Tx was minus x1, my Ty was minus y1 because I was moving towards the region. So now what will happen? Now it will be positive values as I am going away from origin. So this will be my T matrix, that is retranslation matrix to the original scene value by using x1 and y1, right? Now we see what will be our composite transformation matrix. Okay, so our composite transformation matrix, that is M, will be equal to, I used my first translation using Tx as minus x1 and Ty as minus y1 multiplied by, I multiplied it with rotation angle theta, and then I'm going to multiply it with the translation matrix again with Tx as x1 and with Ty as y1. Okay, so this becomes your whole transformation matrix, that is composite transformation matrix, right? Now just to avoid the redundancies, that is both the translation matrices, so I just name it as T1 and this as T2, as this is the original translation and this is retranslation. Okay, now in your final step, what do? Is you do M multiplied by P, that's your point coordinate, to get the final coordinate, that is P dash. Now once you multiply your line coordinates to your transformation matrix, you get the final coordinates for rotation about a fixed point. Okay, so this is all about your fixed point rotation. So the number of steps involved in fixed point rotation are, so how many number of steps are involved in fixed point rotation? So there are, basically we need 3 steps for performing your fixed point rotation. Okay, with this we come to an end for the current session, and in our next session we'll see two-dimensional reflection. Thank you.